today we're unboxing even more fish for the 700-gallon aquarium. So you're gonna think a lot should have changed since the last time you've seen this tank, and quite frankly, there's not enough time for anything to have really happened because we just uploaded that video yesterday, where we unboxed these tetras and kind of got them into the tank. Well, 18 hours ago. And these guys are doing absolutely fantastic since then. Why not add all the fish into here right now? They're from different sources, and these guys are kind of using this as their quarantine due to their higher numbers, but they were also larger and in the other store tank isolated for about 3 months, so definitely felt better about that, whereas the new ones are wild caught and or recently brought in, so we're gonna go with a proper quarantine with them. One thing I am noticing about these guys is if they are highly attracted to light. Some tetras are really shy, but these guys, because the lights are at the beginning of the tank and it's actually dark in the back, it's like a really cool look back there, they spend most of their time in the light. And at nighttime, I'll take a flashlight. Well, I only did it once, so last night I took a flashlight just to see how attracted to light they were. And no matter how big the beam is on the light, they come into it. They absolutely love the spotlight. The other thing is a lot of fish won't eat from your hand, especially for tetras, and I just got these guys in yesterday. But they might do it for me right now. Let me see here. This is just some frozen brine shrimp. But see how friendly they are? I wouldn't say they're eating from my hand, but they're certainly coming up to me. They're super easy to eat, which that was something I was kind of worried about with this aquarium being so big. How are they going to find the food? Well, luckily enough for me, they just come up and get it. The angelfish are very similar to this, so we're going to have no problem doing the same thing with them. And then the otocinclus can live off of a lot of the algae in the tank, so can the Siamese algae eaters. But in time, perhaps we'll have to feed them some wafers and whatnot in the tank just to kind of supplement it. With that said, I'd also like to get some snails and obviously more of what we already have. But Angel's got to probably go in next. And the biggest thing I'm really excited about this tank is this tank, we'll be able to add plants to it all the time. This is the beauty of it not having, 30 piranha in it. We can actually add really cool fish and lots of them. Aren't they awesome? This shipment is essential. We're going to need it. However, the fish in here is an indication of what's to kind of come with the 700-gallon aquarium and how fun it's really going to be to stock it over time. Whew. This shipment is really focused on getting more tetras that we already have and trying to locate more, which we were able to the very next day, but also start focusing on cleanup crews and fish that can truly take care of algae in your aquarium. Now, there's multiple types of algae in your aquariums, and you want to pair the fish specifically to them. So the first ones we got, like I said, are more of those black line tetras, which I must admit have really become some of my favorite tetras. These definitely look smaller than the ones that I already have, and it looks to me like we also might have some DOAs, which are dead on arrival, but we'll see once we get them out of the bag. You never know what might happen. Just get them up to temperature. They might just be stressed out or laying there. We got 50 more of those. Now I got 50 more of these tetras from a different source just to kind of have their genetics more so diverse in the aquarium in case there is any breeding. And we increase the chances of having viable fry without deformities. But it looks to me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7, 8, upwards of 10 out of the 50 didn't make it, which is unfortunate. The last shipment we got 92 and all 92 were alive. The next fish is what I'm definitely going to need long term. Now these guys are going to look really small in this bag, but Oh, another DOA. So DOA just stands for dead on arrival, unfortunately. But in this bag, we've got, you can see just how small they are, even if you can see them at all, are some Siamese algae eaters. These will take care of the tougher algae like brush algae and hair algae. They're really small right now, however, they will also put on considerable size over time, getting up to about 6 inches max length. I'm just trying to verify if we have some true Siamese algae eaters, because sometimes you can get Chinese algae eaters. You can also get flying foxes, which don't actually eat the brush or hair algae. What we're looking for is that one solid stripe along its side, no speckling on the tail, no breakup of that line, and then of course the top of him not to have a line either. So these are true Siamese algae eaters, but we do have two DOAs in here at least. But these guys are absolutely amazing for eating algae. It's just going to take some time to get bigger. In the meantime, because they'll be in quarantine, we'll be feeding them stuff like algae wafers and little flakes, bits of food, stuff like that. But you'll also notice with that black line, we're going with the same kind of the theme where all these fish are going to make sense together, with the black line tetras, the autumn angels with their stark stripes, and then of course we need another algae eater for something more like the softer algae, stuff that grows on glass and stuff. So we got 30 otocinclus. These are a dwarf catfish essentially, but fantastic for algae, softer types of algae, and they technically school together as well. But this isn't the typical otocinclus that you'd be used to seeing. This is a rarer type. Look how small and cute they are. These guys only get to about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. You can see they're tiny little sucker mouths. They'll do a fantastic job at cleaning the aquarium. I will eventually have upwards of 100 of these otocinclus, but for right now, we're just starting off with 30. Again, getting some of them from different sources. These guys are actually wild caught, but these are the otocinclus uarujoey. Again, they'll get a little bit bigger, and their markings are a little different than your typical otocinclus. However, these guys are wild caught, and again, we'll have to obviously quarantine, but I'm not seeing any DOAs, which is really nice. The otocinclus is an incredibly hardy fish. It's unfortunate that we had about 20% loss on the others, but again, we'll see once we actually get them into the tank, into warmer conditions, and we'll go from there. I do plan to bring in at least another 100 tetras, and then of course probably a handful of Siamese algae eaters, and maybe even another 50 or so otocinclus, but we'll see. This is a relatively small order, about 100 fish. Oh, yeah, we flying fox DOA, which I guess is, is fine. It's not like a huge loss. These guys go for around $3 to upwards of $8, maybe even some places $12, $15 a piece. And you might be thinking, get them out of the bag, get them out of the bag. Well, we're going to temper acclimate them first and then get them into quarantine. But as soon as I pop this bag, we're going to have to deal with more oxygen getting in the bags. And once that oxygen hits that bag, there's going to be a gas off. All that CO2 at the surface is going to create gas exchange, which in turn is going to add more oxygen to the water itself. The lower oxygen levels in the water right now is probably making the water below 7 pH, which would be below 7 would be acidic, and ammonia isn't as toxic at lower pHs. But once we pop these open, pH is going to skyrocket because the oxygen content's going to change, and then ammonia is going to become deadly immediately. So sometimes I'll read comments of like, oh, you left them in the bags too long, or you did this, or you did that. I have purpose of why I do everything. First things first is temperature acclimate, and then I'll plop and drop. Get them out of those bags as soon as possible. I have a strong feeling that we might even see some of these tetras bounce back. Simply because I think they're just cold. There was no heat packs in here at all that I saw, but I was built for one. Is it somewhere else that I don't know about? You guys see me take everything out. Look at that. Heat pack charge. $2. If you would have put the heat pack in there, maybe we would have DOAs. It's fine. Oh, the tetras were $5 each, and we lost about 10, so that's $50. And $2 for the heat pack I didn't get. It's $52. Algae eaters are only $3 a pop. 1, 2, so 3, $6. And $58 loss. That's okay. And the total was 531. I know a lot of people are often curious about what these things cost me or whatever, but the no heat pack thing and billing me, probably an honest mistake, but cost me a few fish. The water is cold. Not that bad though, but it has, of course, been out in the gallery for some time now. 18 degrees Celsius. Yeah. Maybe 19 degrees Celsius. That's with an hour-long drive home in a hot truck or a warm truck too. And it's been in the gallery sitting here warming up for quite some time. So I think these guys are just cold. We'll see. Let's get them in their quarantine here. I'm gonna let them warm up a little bit more first. I don't want them to have any temperature shock on top of anything else. The water looks fine. I think they're just cold. So these guys are just in a 40-gallon breeder right now. Seems like a lot of fish for such a small tank, but these guys are tiny. We have a massive filter, Hamburg Matten filter over here that's been cycled for, well, that piece of filter has been cycled for a couple of years. A little messy in here because I just actually gravel vacked it. We do have some DOAs. I've decided to add everybody in it because just because they look dead in the bag doesn't mean, like, look at this one. He might come back. And these guys look to maybe be breathing now. So never count them out. Some shippers want photos of the fish in the bag, but like in my opinion, you should just do DOA out of the bag, like on a napkin or something, to prove like it's actually gone. We'll see what happens with these guys long term though. Oh, and I'm just doing a water change on this. That's what this thing is. But a lot of the fish look okay. I mean, the healthiest ones are the otocinclus, and but they a lot of the times always are super hardy fish. But really upset about the Siamese algae eaters because I really needed them. Anyways. This is like uneaten food, mulm, stuff like that on the ground. It's fine. Gives them something to eat. And they will eat it. But I guess we'll check back in about 24 hours. See how they're doing. So it's been about 24 hours. And we're going to turn the lights on for the first time here. So they might scatter. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 1, 2, 3, 6 tetras. One's kind of struggling. And then the rest look to have come back, unless there's floaters. So I guess that's not bad. Way better than it started out. But everybody looks really happy and you know, like a go-getter. Everybody's so darn small though. I knew the otocinclus would come in small, but really wasn't really excited or happy about. Whoa, these guys are darting around too. One, two. We got to remove out the bodies there. I might even leave them in there for the night. No, they're gone, eh? But the Siamese algae eaters, I might have to order more that are like a larger size or something. But everybody's looking good now, nice and colored up. Yeah, not too bad. Let's go back to the 700. Oh, and look at these guys already, kind of like the otocinclus kind of grouped up over there. They're best buddies. Super cool. Can't wait for all these guys to be in the tank. But in my opinion, the Siamese algae eater, the true Siamese algae eater, as well as, so in my opinion, the Siamese algae eater is probably one of the world's best algae eaters for brush algae and that more stubborn stuff like brush algae and or more specifically hair algae. Ooh, look, I got some right there. Not for long, sucker. I got a little troop to come in here. They also have the lines like these guys and get to about 6 inches, so they look really good in planted tanks and incredibly popular amongst serious planted aquarium hobbyists. Otocinclus is also a really good and one of the world's best algae eaters that actually eats algae, but it deals more so with the soft stuff, you know, the stuff that grows on rocks or whatever's on your glass, that sort of thing. They are a natural schooling fish, and depending on the species, you can add quite a few to a tank, because for the most part, they're only about an inch and a half in size. But I'm super excited about this tank. The downside with getting tetras a lot of times is they'll come in at different sizes. The new ones are so much smaller than these guys, but it is what it is. Look at that! I just created like a hole inside of them. They all move out of the way, and then come back to it. Move out of the way. Come back to it. I control them. Move. Come back. Move. Come back. And so this is around 100, well, 92. I don't know if there's still 92 in here. Maybe we lost a couple, but I don't see any bodies or anything like that. However, I've got another 50, and I think then we're going to add another 100 after that to make the number about 250, and I honestly think that's going to be the number for this tank, for these tetras. As for the otocinclus, I'd like to have 100, maybe even a little bit more, because they'll school as well. Obviously for pictures and sticking to the glass and whatnot, it's going to be kind of annoying, but their little sucker mouths are cute. And then the Siamese algae eaters, I can't wait to get in here and start attacking any sort of hair algae, which I'm starting to see. I'm manually removing it, but it's not that big of a deal right now. Hopefully we can get those guys in there and they can make short work of it, but they are quite small, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I guess we'll see in due time, but I am seeing a lot of the dwarf hairgrass throwing off runners and stuff. We'll see. This tank's going to be absolutely incredible, like insane in like 6 to 8 months. And it's only going to get better with time because the fish will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the plants will get taller and taller and taller. Yeah, definitely going to be a cool tank. Yeah, so very weird. Empty box, right? Which is fine. Great styrofoam box, by the way. I'm going to keep it. Everything else in a big bag, and then that was it. And then the 3 bags in front of that. No other packing materials, which is fine. I just want to say that it was a little surprising at first, but I think it was an honest mistake. Because obviously the heat pack is mentioned on it. But if we look at temperatures, and this came overnight on a flight, but if we look at temperatures at night here, and this will be in Celsius, you know, it's getting down to, well, tonight it's going to get down to 3 degrees Celsius. It's, like I said, it's still cold. I don't know what it was last night, maybe 1 or 2, but let's say it was down to 3 in Fahrenheit. That is 37 degrees. Pretty cold. And again, I think it was just a mistake. I did process the order like really late in the day, and they had somewheres to be for the weekend, and so they were like getting out of there, like, let me ship this to you now. So make sure you get the fish. So I don't want to say their name for two reasons. One, it was an honest mistake. Two, he'd make it right, but I'm not going to stress over $50, $60. However, I'm showing you this because these things happen, and if it happens to you, some of the things that you could do is contact them first. Don't go making a YouTube video trashing somebody just because an accident happened once. I've been shopping with this guy for like 15 years. I've probably spent $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. I got all my Malaysian bogwood, pallets of it from there. I've been going there. There's just an accident. And for the third reason I don't want to say is because you just got a great order in, and I probably want more of the fish. But anyways, things happen. In my opinion, if you do get a DOA when shopping online, I would suggest taking a piece of paper towel or toilet paper, something clean and white, and putting the fish on it individually, and take a photo or video or whatever the case. I think video is a little bit better, but you could take a picture or just follow their DOA rules and you can get a credit or your money back. Unfortunately, you wouldn't get like your shipping back if you just had a few of them die off. But maybe, I don't know, just always read the DOA policies, dead on arrival policies. Some guarantee, some say money plus 10% back, some just say whatever the case might be. I'm not going to file anything. I mean, it is what it is. 20% is not that bad. I've had worse. I mean, I just had 200 cardinals, and I think we had, for Tamara, and I think we ended up with like 17. So that's like 80%, 90%. So, but they weren't all DOA. They just weren't healthy at all. I'm not worried about the cold. It'd be a lot better if they were like Canadian fish. They'd be used to the cold. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. I'll update you guys probably on Instagram about them. I'll do some videos or something and post to my story, so make sure you follow me there. Link is in the description if you want to see the rest of this series on the 700 gallon. We still have so many more fish to order from. Oh, I also want to say that this order didn't come from Kowloon Aquatics or aquapest.ca. They're separate days. The first order was all of those tetras that are in the tank now. This order came from somewhere else. But ultimately, what do I do? I mean, I do order a lot of fish and have had hundreds of shipments, more than the average hobbyist. I don't know if I've had a lot or what to compare it to, but definitely a lot more than the average person, especially over the last 7 to 8 years, importing fish from all over the world, getting thousands of fish in through the gallery. Just the packing just seemed off. For the summer, yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of it. Maybe it's nothing. They would know better than me. They ship way more than I've ever received. But in my opinion, just based off of most people all ship the same type of way, and this one just seems a little off. It just seems like it might have like order packed, put them in the box, and then went on and did something else. Like I know they were busy, and then they're like, okay, this one's good. Boom, boom, label, shipped it, and just didn't really look in it or whatever to make sure. Double check. And to be fair, they shipped it to a good person because I'm gonna be able to acclimate them, and they've got a high chance of survival. And I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it, unless they all die. Then I'm gonna lose it and shame them. I'm just joking. I usually get 100% survival out of this company. 15 years of 100% survival. So, is what it is. Oh yeah, and then one other thing. No, I'm just joking. I feel bad for how I reacted at first. Now I gotta feel like, okay, it's not that bad. Maybe that was purposeful, but I just can't see it with the temperatures outside, and seeing the heat pack and on it. I think I'm right. What do you guys think? Will I ever use them again? Yes. This is just and it's not even that bad. Whatever. I'm done. Okay, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe.